To change the behavior of different samples, Traktor allows you to turn various options on and off for each row of samples. These options are Key Lock, FX, Monitor, and Punch, each of which can be switched on and off individually. When you press and hold the F1's Shift button, the pads will change their configuration to show the states of the slot parameters in their columns. Pressing a pad while holding Shift will turn a parameter on or off. For example, if Key Lock is enabled for slot 3, you'll see an orange pad in the top row of the third column of the pads. If Punch mode is on for slot 2, the bottom pad in the second column will be orange. Any parameters that are disabled will be shown with a gray pad instead. In the first row, you can turn on the Key Lock function for each sample slot. With Key Lock turned on, a sample's playback pitch will be independent from its playback speed. The speed of your remix deck doesn't matter. The pitch of your samples will always be the same. Furthermore, you can change the pitch for single samples individually when Key Lock is activated. To learn about changing the pitch parameter of a sample, please watch the advanced preparation tutorial. With Key Lock turned off, you'll hear a change in pitch when changing the remix deck's tempo. By turning on the effects send for a sample slot, the samples playing in the slot will be routed through the effects unit that is assigned to the remix deck's channel in the mixer. When this is turned off, the samples in the slot will bypass the effects unit and will play back without being affected by Traktor's effects. This can be helpful for preventing low-frequency sounds from going through the effects. Each sample slot has its own monitoring switch. By holding Shift on the F1 and turning on the pads in the third row, you can choose which sample slot should be routed to the mixer's monitor output, which can be monitored on your headphones. You can therefore preview a slot before playing it live to an audience. When engaged, Punch mode will trigger a sample in the same playback position as the previously triggered sample on the remix deck's timeline. When using loops, this means that the musical phrasing is preserved as you change them, even with quantize turned off. Punch mode also keeps one-shots located at the same position on the record, so you can perform juggling routines while changing samples on the fly. When Punch mode is turned off, every triggered sample will play from the beginning. All slot parameters can also be seen and changed in the Remix Deck GUI. Simply hover over a sample slot and click on one of the buttons to toggle its state. In the new Remix Deck, it's possible to set a sample to play backwards. When using the F1 controller, a sample can be set to reverse playback temporarily or permanently. The difference in behavior is determined by the order in which you release the buttons. To temporarily reverse playback from the F1, press and hold the reverse button. Release the pad and the sample will play forwards again. To permanently turn on the reverse playback for a sample, The reverse button has to be let go before the sample pad on the F1. To switch the sample back to forward playback, hold reverse while pressing and releasing the pad. The sample will start playing forwards again once you release the pad. Note that the permanent reverse setting for a sample is saved as part of a remix set. To change the reverse setting with your mouse, open the advanced view for your deck and click the backwards pointing arrow. When it lights up yellow, reverse playback is turned on. The Traktor Kontrol F1 can be put into a special performance mode which is called Gate Override. This mode can be chosen by pushing the Type button and rotating the encoder counterclockwise. The mode is indicated by GO in the LED display. When this mode is active, pressing the pads will trigger each sample for as long as the pad is being pressed. The sample will stop playback immediately when the pad is released again. You can latch a gated sample by holding the sample's pad and then pressing the mute button in the same slot. The sample will then continue playing when you release the button. To exit the Gate Override mode, just press the Type button. The samples will now be triggered with their original settings again. To learn about the F1's different type modes, check out the F1 Advanced Preparation tutorials.